The Pope's death marks a major moment in history for the nearly 1.4 billion Catholics around the world. And here with more on the Church's reaction is His Eminence Timothy Cardinal Dolan. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for the invitation. It's good for me to be out and about and to let people know how grateful I am for the outpouring of affection and sympathy. I can't walk the streets of New York without people crying and coming up to me. One guy just outside said, I think I'm an agnostic, but I'm going to miss the old guy. That seems, what a beautiful sentiment when you think about it.
Yeah, a beautiful sentiment, and it's an outpouring from all over the world. You're the Cardinal Archbishop of New York.
So I hear.
And you received this phone call this morning at 4 a.m. about the Pope. Then you held Mass here at St. Patrick's at 7 a.m. How did it feel when you received that call just after Easter in the middle of the night? What went through your mind?
You know what? If it had come 2 months ago, I wouldn't have been surprised. Remember? You guys did a good job of reporting it. Because then we knew he was gravely ill, and I wouldn't have been surprised. After yesterday, I watched the Mass and his when he came to the balcony, and I thought, God willing, we'll have some more months. And then so when I heard that he had died early in the morning, I thought, oh no.
Because he did look good at the moment.
He looked, I mean, he looked fragile, but a lot better than he had been.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, this is going to be like we're all used to with grandparents or parents. He's going to be with us for a while, and I'm glad he is. He had a remarkable ability of kind of showing us, this is true of all of us, but especially the Pope, who we are is even more important than what we do. So he wasn't able to do a lot of stuff. I think of my own dear mom. She died at 93. The last couple of years, she couldn't make me chicken and dumplings anymore. But she was my mom. And her presence and her love and her encouragement. And that's how it was with Pope Francis. Maybe he couldn't sign all the documents. Maybe he couldn't see as many people as he used to. Maybe he couldn't travel anymore. But he just was. He
still had that presence.
We don't call him our Holy Father for nothing. Okay, we're a member of a family as the Church. And he's our earthly father.
And speaking of that presence, I mean, we've been looking at some of these images. He was out, he was giving blessings. We even saw him take time to meet with Vice President J.D. Vance. Why do you think it was so important for him to maintain that public image and be there until the very end, despite his ongoing illness?
I think that's just who he was. And we all, we'll all go, like if we have a parent or a grandparent who's, the doctors say, you need to stay in bed, you need to stay away from people. Sooner or later, Pop's going to get dressed and want to walk.
Oh, you know it, and walk right out the door, right?
And he's going to say, I'm going out. Now, here you got doctors who are saying, you need to stay away from crowds. And he's driving around 200,000 people sneezing and yelling at him. Wasn't the best to take care of his health, but I think he felt this is important for me, and I think it's important for the people. And God, I'm glad he did. We got happy memories.
Oh, yes. And Terry touched on this, of course. He was a man of the people. So what do you think his legacy will be?
Well, yeah, everybody's been commenting on it, and I appreciate the fact that people speak about style, the way he did it. Now, for a pope, every pope is kind of the same in substance. Since Peter, we believe he was the first pope appointed by Jesus himself, the first bishop of Rome. And so every pope has to conserve and pass on the integrity of the faith. And he did that. But the way you do it is different, okay? And he did it with a love, with an embrace. He reminded me very much of just kind of a parish priest who liked to walk the streets, talk to his people, get to know them, laugh with them, cry with them, bless them, visit them when they're sick. When was his last big visit outside of the Vatican? To prisoners on Holy Thursday. He said, get me out of here. Let's go down the street to Regina Coeli prison and see the fellows for Holy Thursday. Why not? Jesus died as a criminal. He wanted to be with prisoners. That's how he was. And that style.
He didn't like the shiny side of his position.
I don't think he liked the elevator. I can remember because I was there in 2013 in the conclave that elected him. And the morning after, so we all gather for Mass again at the Sistine Chapel to go in and have Mass in the morning. So all the cardinals are there, and they got our vestments at the table. And all of a sudden, we see him walk in, and of course, the monsignors surround him and say, Holy Father, we have a private room for you to vest. And he said, I've been saying Mass for 50 years. I know what to do. And he came over and plopped his stuff down. He had his own vestments right next to me, of all things. And he just got vested and had Mass. You're right. right. He just said he was just kind of a natural, you know it, and we're going to miss that very much.
We most certainly will. And Cardinal, again, it's good to have you.
I'm thrilled you invited me. Let's do it more often.
Yes, sir. You're always welcome
right
back.
up the street.
Right up the street.
I'll take you up on that.
We're going to take you up on that.
Yes. Around at the Brooklyn Diner anyway.
We'll find you.
All right.